Hello, friends. Chris Coursey here, and I want to welcome you to the Relational Skills in Real Life podcast. I am glad you're here. I'm the president of Thrive Today, along with my wife, Jen, and along with Jim Wilder, I'm the co founder of Thrive Training. So, one of the things we are really after with this podcast is to give real life examples of how to live and practice relational skills, how to spread the good stuff, and how to start some of the good stuff here in our families and our communities. So, I'm really excited about today's episode because Kristy Harang is our guest, and she shares a profound example of growing some joy on the home front and how she used joyful connection to connect deeply with her children, and particularly one of her sons. Just really a inspiring story. Can't wait for you to hear this. The thing about joy is a lot like breathing. So we inhale and we exhale. So joy has a rhythm of connecting and resting. And as you're going to see from Christy's example, she really used this pattern of connecting and resting as a way to deeply connect with her son and deeply connect with her children. So, friends, you're going to enjoy this.
Hi, my name is Kristy, and I'd like to share a story with you about how the relational skills have helped me with building joy and connection with my kiddos. So, I'm a mom of four children, and many years ago, when they were really little, there was one day where I was interacting with one of my boys, and I noticed for the first time that there was just something missing between us. He was maybe 2 or 3 years old at the time, and we knew that there were some challenges he had. He had a really difficult infancy. There were some things that we didn't do that we should have as parents, and we were seeing the effects of that play out in him. But this was the first time I really noticed that there was just something missing in our connection. And I knew nothing about the relational skills at the time. I'd never heard of them. I didn't have any grid for what was going on or what to do about it. All I knew to do was to pray to God, which is always the right thing to do, right? So I just said, God, I really want to know this child. I want to be connected to them. Would you show me what to do? And I laid it at Jesus's feet. And then within, very quickly after that, God began to put thoughts and ideas inside my head. And I began to have these ideas of coming to times where I was spending with him and to just look him in the eye and to smile at him, to communicate my delight and my love for him through my eye contact with him. And I had never been really great at eye contact. That's not something I've ever been really great about, but I started doing that with him. He'd be in his bed. I'd snuggle with him before nap time or bedtime. I'd look him in the eye, I'd smile at him, just communicating how much I loved him. And it was amazing. I could see just this, I could see him in just the love. As he saw it, it's almost like he was eating something, and I could see it filling up his soul with joy and peace. And I knew that I was on the right track. So there's a much bigger story here with him, but this one simple thing of really making eye contact, of communicating my love through my glances to him, really began a really beautiful journey of building a deeper connection, of coming to know him more, of having him feel more secure in my love for him. And once I came across Thrive Today and I began to understand about the relational skills, about building joy, about the significance of eye contact in making joy or in building joy and establishing bonds and connection, I began to understand what God was teaching me to do and why he was sharing with me about the need for me to do this with my son. And so it's been really cool to learn more about this. And when I began to understand it, then I knew how to implement it more with the other members of my family. So I used to drop my kids off for school in the morning. And before they got out of the car, I would make a point of making eye contact with each one of them, letting them know how much I love them with just a glance in my eyes before they went off for their day. And it's been really cool, again, to see how such a very simple thing can make such an impact in building that joy and building that connection.
All right, friends, wasn't that something? Kristy just really brought home the power of joy. I love how Kristy just gave us such a good example of, first of all, she recognized connection was needed. And so she went to God with this observation. And then she connected deeply with her son. She used her face, she used her eyes to connect and to rest. And so, what's important about Chrissy's example is she was careful not to overwhelm her son. And so she connected, she observed and monitored to make sure the joy was growing. And as I said earlier, joy is a lot like breathing, right? So we inhale and we exhale, there's a rhythm. So joy is about connecting and resting. So as long as the joy is growing, we continue to use eye contact. But the moment we feel like the joy is topping out here, the joy is reaching its limits, it's no longer peaking, it's no longer growing, then what happens is we look away. And so this means I notice in you, you need a breather, or I notice in myself that I need a breather. And so this is some important training that we really focus on in our Thrive trainings: how to grow joy, how to practice this sequence of connecting and resting. And so that's the main thing we want to really focus on as we start to apply the joy training, is just don't overwhelm. A little bit of joy goes a long way. And I want you to think about how you can apply some of what you learned from Christy today as you seek to live in your face and pursue connection, and also notice when it's time to look away. What a beautiful example this is. And so you can learn more about joy through our joy webinars at our website, thrivetoday.org. We have a joy habit builder course that's much more in depth on practicing and growing in our ability to grow joy. So friends, have a great week, and make the effort to live in your face and spread the good stuff far and wide.